Hello children, welcome to the new biology session. We had completed the first lesson of the unit, Biology for Human Welfare, that was Human Health and Diseases. Hope you all understood the topic well. Today we are discussing the second unit, that is Strategies for Enhancement in Food Production. What are the strategies for enhancing the food production? What are the techniques and methods to enhance the quality and quantity of food? Okay. So, to fulfill the demand of food items due to increasing population, biological principles are applied in animal husbandry and plant breeding. So, in this lesson, we will discuss two important aspects, animal husbandry and plant breeding, and what all biological principles we can apply to enhance the quality of food. So, we can start with the first topic, that is animal husbandry. I know you studied the topic from lower class onwards. Let's recollect the memories. First one, animal husbandry. It is an agricultural practice of breeding and raising livestock. Okay. So, animal reared at home or in farms has to be provided with proper food, shelter and care. When this is done on large scale, it is termed as animal husbandry. So, it dealt with the breeding of livestock like buffaloes, cows, pigs, horses, cattle, sheep, camel, goat, etc. It includes poultry farming and fisheries. You know what is poultry farming? In the case of fisheries, both capture and culture fisheries have taken to account. So, fisheries include rearing, catching, selling, etc. of fish, not only fish, non-fish like mollusks, shellfish, crustaceans like prawns and crabs. Okay. And increased production of fish is called blue revolution, that we know already. So, both culture fisheries and capture fisheries. We will discuss both culture fisheries and capture fisheries. So, we know that more than 70% of livestock population of livestock live in India and China, but we can't produce the quality items. That means we can't produce a branded item. So, we have to follow different techniques and methods. So, in this lesson, we will discuss those techniques and methods. So, we can start with management of farm and farm animals. A professional approach of farm management have increased the food production many-fold. So, we are going to discuss some of the management procedures applied in various livestock. Okay. So, we will start with cattle farming. So, we know that dairying is the management of animals for its milk and product for human consumption, isn't it? So, in dairy farm management, we deal with different processes and systems that increase yield, and it will help to improve the quality of food. Okay, so we can check the management techniques. So, the first one, selection of good breeds having high yield potential combined with resistant to disease is very important. So, what is the first point? Good breeds. Okay. Then second management technique, the cattle have to be housed well, should have proper water and be maintained disease free. Okay. Then third one, the feeding of cattle should be carried out in a scientific manner. That means we have to ensure the quality and quantity of fodder. The last one, very important, strict cleanliness and hygiene are very important by milking, storage, transport and all this. In all these steps, we have to maintain strict cleanliness and hygiene. So, I will show you one important breed. You know, Jersey cow, it is high yielding variety, and Red Sindhi, it is disease resistant variety. So, it is the first management technique. While we are selecting, we have to select good breeds with high yield providing variety and disease resistant variety. Okay. Then this table will helps you to study different types of good yields, Gir, Sahiwal, Red Sindhi and Deoni. And the second one, the feeding of cattle should be carried out in a scientific manner. So, we can combine both grazing traditional method as well as new techniques. Okay. Then cattle have to be housed well, should have proper water and be maintained disease free. So, a veterinary surgeon should visit the farm in regular intervals. Strict cleanliness and hygiene should follow in all the steps from milking up to transport of the milk and its products. Clear? Next one, poultry farm management technique. We know that poultry is a class of domesticated birds used for food and their eggs, and mainly includes chicken, ducks and turkey, geese. Okay, and we are going to discuss the important management technique. The first one, same as that of cattle farming, we have to follow the same techniques. The first one, selection of disease-free and suitable breeds, proper and safe farm condition, proper feed and water, hygiene and health care. Okay. Next one, animal breeding. So while we are discussing both cattle farming and poultry farming, we use the term we have to select good breeds. What do you mean by animal breeding? Yes, animal breeding, it aims at increasing yield of animals and improving the desirable qualities of the product. So if we want a particular quality, we can breed the animals. Okay. So breed is a group of animals related by descent and similar in most of characters like general appearance, features, size, configuration, etc. Clear? So there are two types of breeding. Inbreeding and outbreeding. Children, it is very important. So much confusing terms are coming across. So listen carefully. We know that Jersey and Lagoon are common breeds, and cow and chicken respectively, isn't it? So two types of breeding techniques are the inbreeding technique and outbreeding technique. First we can discuss what is inbreeding. Inbreeding means breeding between animals of same breed with a common ancestor. Okay, same breed with a common ancestor. It is known as inbreeding. And what is outbreeding? Crosses between different breeds. We can divide crossbreeding into three as outcrossing, crossbreeding and interspecific hybridization. We will discuss about outbreeding in detail later. So we can start with inbreeding. What do you mean by inbreeding? While we are going for breeding, we have to select a superior male and superior female, and keep it in mind they should be close relatives for 4 to 6 generations. Okay, and what happened? We will obtain superior offspring. Will produce. That means can produce homozygous pure line animals. You know, I thought you remember the term pure lines. We discussed Mendel's experiment in class 10, right? So we can produce homozygous pure line animals with desired character. But it is having a drawback. If we continue this technique or inbreeding, what cause it results? Inbreeding depression. Okay. So what is inbreeding depression? Continued inbreeding reduces fertility and even productivity. This condition is termed as inbreeding depression. I think we discussed the same topic while we discussing lesson 2. Just before pollination, we discussed inbreeding depression and outbreeding devices found in plants. Isn't it? Remember that? Yeah. The same process. Okay, so if we continue inbreeding, what happened? It reduces the fertility of the organism and even it reduces the productivity. Okay, this process is termed as inbreeding depression. So whenever this become a problem, selected animals of the breeding population should be mated with unrelated superior animals. Okay, unrelated superior animal of the same breed. So this usually helps to restore the fertility and yield. Okay, now we can discuss outbreeding. So it is the importance of outbreeding. So outbreeding is the breeding of unrelated animals which may be between individuals of same breed but having no common ancestors, or between different breeds. That means crossbreeding of different species. That is interspecific hybridization. Children, listen its definition. Outbreeding is a breeding of unrelated animal which may be between individuals of same breed but having no common ancestors, or between different breeds, okay, or different species. Clear? So this table will differentiate inbreeding and outbreeding. What is inbreeding? Mating of close related individuals within the same breed for 4 to 6 generations. What is outbreeding? Breeding the unrelated animals of the same or different breed not having common ancestors. Clear? It can be divided, cannot be divided into further types. But it includes outcrossing, crossbreeding and interspecific hybridization. What are the three types of outbreeding technique? Outcrossing. First one, outcrossing. Second one, crossbreeding. And the third type, interspecific hybridization. Clear? And mating is between same species and produce homozygous pure lines. Clear? And produce homozygous pure lines. But here mating can be between different species. So can't produce pure line. Clear? Okay. So this flow chart same. The same explanation in the form of flow chart. Breeding is of two types, inbreeding, outbreeding. We can't divide inbreeding, produce homozygous pure lines, but outbreeding are of three types: outcrossing, crossbreeding, interspecific hybridization. Little confusing terms are there. It's very simple. Okay, listen carefully. So we are going to discuss the types of outbreeding techniques. First one, outcrossing. Okay. What is outcrossing? This is the practice of mating animals within the same breed but having no common ancestors on either side of the pedigree. That means on either side, on paternal side and maternal side, there is no common ancestors up to 4 to 6 generations. Clear? And it eliminates problems of inbreeding depression. Okay. So the offsprings are called outcross. Okay. Next one, crossbreeding. What is crossbreeding? In crossbreeding, have to select one superior male of one breed and mated with superior female of another breed. For example, we can consider the case of in example 1. It is given, that is first example, that is Jersey. Jersey is having long lactation period, whereas Reds in this having disease resistant capacity. Okay, so two breeds. We can select the superior male from Jersey and superior female from Sindhi. Clear? And we can produce an offspring named Jersant, and it will be having both the qualities of Jersey and Sindhi. Clear? Another example is in the case of a goat, that is Merino Rams and Bicaneri Aves, and produce Hisardi. Okay. And the third type is interspecific hybridization. What is interspecific hybridization? The male and female animals of two different species are mated. Okay, two different species. We are selecting two different species, not two different breed, two different species. So the progeny may combine desirable features of the parents. The story of mule, isn't it? And what is why we have to produce these type of hybridization technique? It is having very economical value. Okay. Children, keep it in mind, even though the produced offsprings, that means in the case of horse and donkey cross, a mule is produced. The mule is infertile, but it is having economical value. Okay, that is importance. Okay, some diagrams. Male donkey, cross between male donkey and female horse produce mule. This is mule. And cross between male lion and female tiger produce liger. Okay. So the produced offsprings are infertile, sterile, but having economical value. Okay. That's why we are going for interspecific hybridization. Clear? Then the last one, controlled breeding experiments are carried out using artificial insemination, isn't it? So both inbreeding, in the case of both inbreeding and outbreeding technique, we have to go for artificial insemination method. What do you mean by artificial insemination? Not normal insemination, artificial. The semen is collected from the male and that is chosen as a parent and injected into the reproductive tract of the selected female by the breeder. Okay.